right, here we go. Falcons versus Team Spirit in his best of three. Suns fan here with Cinderin. Wave.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
to another beautiful day here in Sweden for DreamLeague Season 22. And yeah, I'm always impressed with, I know that everybody was glowing a little bit for the Team Spirit draft and how they cater themselves to every other opponent, but something about Falcons drafts are just so fascinating to watch. They have so much, like we've seen a lot of teams like switch to this idea of having flex, but I feel like they're just on another level. Like last picking a Shadow Demon, it's such a good game for it. Typically you won't see the 5th pick as a support, but when you have this big of a hero pool for so many of their players, it's so hard to draft against, I feel like.
I think this is something that AUI is a very big fan of. So it's possible that it's part of the coaching here that's coming into play as well with how they prepare their strategies, that they specifically try to find as many heroes as possible that are good in the patch that they can play on more than one player. And then they build everything in all of their strategies around that idea, right? Falcons definitely in this tournament so far do it more than any other team. They just have great flex potential among all 3 of their core players with specific heroes. That's why they like the Dragon Knight so much. Well, every team is picking Dragon Knight, but this team is using it, in my opinion, the best because they play it on all 3 positions very well. And the Tiny, you saw Team Spirit, they started banning offlaners. And Amar didn't really find the hero he wanted, so it's like, whatever, I also play Tiny offlane, and we can get an amazing support last pick. The panel talked about how good of a Shadow Demon game this is. It's flat out just outstanding. And Crit has been playing a really good tournament so far, so expecting big things from him. It is a bit of a clash of styles here. Spirit's lineup is, I'd say, a little bit uncharacteristic for what we've seen them play. Laurel and DP is not a player-hero combination that we see very often.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times, but in terms of like the play style that the hero requires, you're right. It's not the Laurel prototypical.
Yeah. Generally more of a playmaker and initiate style mid with Spirit heroes or Puck. I think in a game like this, it's actually really integral for Spirit's lineup that Death Prophet is very farmed. I think if she does okay, they're going to run into a problem with taking the towers that they want, because what Falcons are prepared for basically is heavy single target burst. They have Tiny core, he's going to have levels. They have the Sven as a carry, which is one of the most hard-hitting heroes in the game. Shadow Demon, which is a flat-out anti-screw-one hero kind of guy. And if Death Prophet doesn't have the items and doesn't have the levels, she's just going to get demonic purged and killed. Like, Spirit don't have a save for him. They have Nightmare, which is, you know, a pseudo-save. You can be clutch, but
It's not like a disruption, that's for sure.
Definitely not. And you were very surprised to see the Bane pick. I was surprised too. I mean, Miposhka is an absolute master of this hero, but not a traditional first phase or a
hero at all.
Not traditionally picked right now.
Spear from Collapse, and that'll be the first blood going to Mira. He's able to hide in the tree line.
This is a very strong lane. We've seen this multiple times this tournament. Techie's Mars, you play any frail 5 into this, you get caught, you're done.
Feels like Techie's almost anything in this meta has been pretty damn effective, even with the DK just setting up with the Dragon Tail or something like that.
Does a lot of the job himself. Most 4s rely heavily on the core to do damage. Techies has that in spades, especially on level 6, you can sometimes almost solo kill cores if you get the right situation.
Yeah, and from the Bane perspective, this is a hero that has gotten a decent amount of changes over the years. As so far, Laurel 16 and 7 in the mid lane, 12 and 1 from Malrine. So Malrine losing a little bit at the time.
It's a good DP matchup.
Being.
And this is a good sign for Spirit, right? They put Laurel on DP, which we haven't seen him play too much. He's doing very well against perhaps the, on average, best performing mid laner in the tournament so far. I feel like Malrine has not really lost the lane.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably true.
So if you can get off to this kind of start in a game where it's very important that the DP fares well, that's obviously very healthy looking. At the same time, Collapse is absolutely crushing at bottom. 23-3 to the 16-0 of Skitter's Sven.
Yep,
Spirit
Collapse owning.
Doing very well here to begin with. And
So talk about the position ones and how this game is going to look like for them. The Sven versus the Luna.
Yeah, this is a less bad matchup for Luna than it used to be in just a vacuum, because your shard gives you some decent protection against any type of melee carry. Back in the day, if Sven and Luna were somewhat even on farm, someone would just kind of overpower you, but I think now you have more staying power. You obviously have the best part of Bane in this game is how good it is against Sven for me.
And blast off onto Skeeter.
Oh!
Ooh, the spear will miss.
Rare miss there from Collapse. Skitter wasn't even moving in any unusual way, just moved in a straight
Maybe
line.
he was thinking next level, you know? It's like if you stand still for the hook, you miss the hook.
Yeah, he was thinking, I think Skitter is going to dodge toward the trees against Mars. that would be next level. Oh,
Snaking.
He's in trouble again.
Indeed.
He's just...
Spear will finish him off, so this offlane for Team Spirit continuing to get these kills for Collapse and company.
To follow up on the carry versus carry situation, I think BSJ talked about it in a pretty concise and clear way here. You know, the timing is what it's all about. Luna and Sven both farm very fast, so you don't get outpaced by the Sven, which is important for your lineup in particular. When you're playing around DP, the trap you don't want to fall into is having a carry that can't contribute, right? So you want somebody that gets online pretty quickly. That was not who the spear was intended for, but sometimes you hit secondary target.
Yep, random wolf
Yep.
out in the jungle. And it's only 6 minutes, Cinder, but already 2K lead for Spirit.
This is a position we have not seen Falcons in very much.
Indeed. Mid lane and off lane just really owning it up for Spirit right now. And this lane, Amar basically even with Yatoro.
Yeah,
Which, who would that benefit? And the fact that Tiny's getting farm, I guess, is a good thing for Falcons.
Yeah, ironically, this was the lane that Jenkins was most worried about going well for Falcons, and it's the only one that's truly going well. The other two are.
But he's right all the time. That's what he said on.
Yeah, I know. He's somehow going to be right. As
Did he say 2-0 someone?
No, actually, you. I don't think so, at least.
So because I flamed him, he's now self-conscious. Gotcha. All right. Collapse.
He
Finding
does work.
snaking again. Blast off does connect. Skeeter gets off the Stormbolt, but snaking is done again.
They're not even going to use the spear.
Yeah.
Like, why bother? Save the mana for next kill. Snaking is just food in this lane. It's honestly...
Oh, crit. He will end up getting...
It's probably going to kill him, too.
His Wisdom Rune, as Miposhka is in a battle
He's dead.
that he cannot win.
Pop. This is one of those situations where you look at Snaking as the 5 maiden and you're like, man, he's dying a lot, you know, this isn't good. But you gotta look at the bigger picture. If he is not dying, Sven will have absolutely nothing, right? And I'm not saying this lane is going great for Sven. You can see Skitter is definitely suffering, but it's one of the cases of you gotta take the lesser evil, and sometimes that just means when you're playing 5, you're just screwed, right? If he doesn't draw any attention to himself in this lane, the Sven doesn't even get to hit creeps, so... Snaking very experienced, very well aware of the dynamic there.
Snaking coming in, off the back of the avalanche from Amar. Yatoro's really wanting to kill off crit. Gets off the Lotus, tosses there, Yatoro dies. Meanwhile, Collapse kills Skeeter this time, so that offlane continuing to reap rewards for Spirit, but they do lose their Luna this time.
Yeah, speaking of, right? For a moment, Maiden isn't there as a lightning rod. And Skitter gets taken out instantly with that snaking rotation to top. They knew they could go for it. Miposhka very quick on the Nightmare there.
Yeah, but the Frostbite was just in range. Laurel gets off the silence onto 2. Miposhka continuing to get gone on as the Avatos is there. Laurel finishes off crit, so supports will trade lives.
Man, Laurel is level 8.
Yeah, he's
doing
destroying.
very, very well here. And Malrine, uncharacteristically quiet so far. He's a talkative kind of guy.
That's right. Where's the all chat at?
Not much to write home about right now, you know? Just bit in the jungle here, trying to get some extra farm in along with the mid waves, but as it stands, he's 600 behind the DP. The Sven has lost his lane by 2,000 minute 9. He's level 6 though, so it's time to go to the jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower
Get your
is
farm
under
on.
attack.
But Spirit definitely coming in well prepared for this game. And this is one of those situations that's really interesting, because you see teams like Falcons, you know, they go on a hot streak, everything goes great. What happens when you throw, how is it you say it? Is it a spanner in the cog? Is that what you say?
Spanner?
Yeah?
Wrench.
Wrench. Didn't we have this conversation another time, and spanner is another word for wrench, and it's the British word.
I don't remember. I've never heard spanner in my life, but it's possible I just forgot because I talked to you.
I could be wrong. Anyway.
So much useless information is conveyed from you to me that
That is fair.
I just got to release some of it from the brain.
All right, who of me and Jenkins is ruining your life more? Very important question here.
We're going to have to think about that one.
Okay.
3 bounty runes picked up by Laurel. What the hell?
It's quite uncharacteristic that they're all there minute 9 still.
Wow.
We'll get a little extra. I mean, that's another 1,000 network.
Yeah, I was going to say. Their lead is back to 3K. There is a stack here, though, as Crit is playing one of the best, if not the best stacking hero in the game.
And I guess theoretically the best one's Naga Siren, right? But it's almost like inhuman levels of micro if you want to do it.
True.
But yeah, Shadow Demon, the best support for stacking, just hands down. You have super long range. You can stack multiple camps at once. Obviously, can't really take as much advantage of it as you used to because the triangle has 2 camps instead of 3. But that's a long gone change. Anyway, Malrine will farm up the big camp. The Ancients are still reserved for Skitter. And you would imagine Spirit want to try to invade this one actually potentially at some point. For now, they're just going to be pushing out the mid lane with Laurel and the siege creep. Falcons aren't really doing anything.
Even the Techis comes in, put down a mine.
It's just gone. They can't defend it.
And it will fall. So Team Spirit pretty much getting everything they need. Even when they find, even when Falcons finds the kill on the position 1 for Yatoro, it's a trade for Skeeter on the other side. Just at minimum, it's neutral, but mostly it's been positive for Spirit. As Skeeter getting chased again, collapse.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Being chased by a creep.
Okay. This is the fastest Mars dagger we've seen all tournament. Could be wrong.
Into the pit, Skeeter goes, collapse. He's gonna get fogged out, yes, for the time being, but now eventually catches up. Doesn't want to use Spear because of the TP potential. Storm Hammer. I called it Bolt earlier. That was from Dota 1, I believe.
Yeah.
It's Mars. It's off the arena now. Mira coming in with the blast off as well. Rebuke back into the shield, and one more mine for the road. Skeeter dead again. Spirit just dominating this laning phase.
He has Bracer, Soul Ring, Phase Boots, Blink, minute 11.
Not bad.
On the Mars.
Yeah, pretty good.
If we can get a comparison for average Blink Dagger timing. This, to me, feels exceptionally early coming out from that Mars.
It's maybe not fair as well because a lot of Mars have not been going Blink first anyway. It's been a lot of Yules. I mean, it looks like he's going Yules next
but
after the fact.
I mean, he's skipped 1 Bracer. I guess that's the thing that's unfair because a lot of Mars go double Bracer, Soul Ring, and then Blink, right? That we've seen? I think so. Or do they generally just only get the 1 Bracer? I want to say I've seen a lot of double plus Soul Ring, but anyway. Fact of the matter is, it's fast. They're doing great. Now Exorcism is ready again. Laurel even has a haste rune, which is the rune on this hero. And just freely move around with the Exorcism in the next coming fight. Could be looking for a top tier 1 if they want. They could technically even Roche, I think. But there is that demonic purge onto Laurel.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be just fine though. Spirit siphoning some illusions. And he has the haste rune. Yeah, not often we see Falcons at a deficit like this early on, but anytime we have seen them kind of losing lane stages, they've been very good at extending the game for the eventual late game scenarios. Mira runs into crit. That'll be the smoke dissipated completely. Avatos from Amar, but the Fiend's Grip on the high ground from Aposhka not getting canceled anytime soon as the arena comes out from Collapse with a huge rebuke as well. 4 dead for Falcons.
See ya later.
As Spirit have now taken firm control of this game.
This was the one play that Falcons had waited for. They needed to get the Amar Blink. They needed to get all their spells ready. Malrine didn't get to coil in this fight, so they Avatos. This grip is almost instant from Miposhka. He just jumps in, gets caught, and
Perfect arena.
Wow.
That's insane. Yeah, Collapse is a special flower for sure. Very good at the old dotes.
Yep.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen Falcons in this form. 7K down at 14.
Oh, this is definitely the worst game they've had in this tournament.
Not just this tournament. The last tournament as well.
Since they formed,
yeah,
maybe.
It does feel like their laning stage is typically in their favor. As Collapse getting the initiation onto Amar. Crit is there for the counter initiation. As a bunch of TPs coming from Spirit, but they won't be able to connect on anyone.
I think they were anticipating that there was going to be backup coming from Falcons too. Sometimes you just TP as a layer of protection, right? And they would be right.
Yeah, they're grouping up. They want to fight despite just losing a team fight. Amar gets the Avatos, only onto the techies. The Falcons will take what they can get right now.
It's something. He had a killing spree, so Malrine gets a little extra bounty. He still doesn't have the Witchblade. It's flying out now. We're 15 minutes in. And Puck is finally getting the Witchblade, which is absolutely crucial for you to be able to find solo kills. This was the introduction of this item really revolutionized this hero for me, let's say, because Puck used to always run into this problem where you get to the early portion of the mid game and you have your spell combo and nobody dies, right? Like that was always the problem. You couldn't really buy Dagon because like the value proposition just wasn't there. The item is better now than it was back then even. But when you get this Witchblade, you really start having a different level of impact, but it's been delayed so much this game. You can see this is very slow. Much, much worse than the average coming out here from Malrine.
Yeah, so for Falcons, if they want to go into turtle mode, how does their lineup fare in that type of scenario? As Collapse will find crit. That's the arena off. There's actually reinforcements from Falcons. Oh, sorry, that is Team Spirit. Never mind. Goodbye, crit.
Falcons are going to send their Agent Laurel to get rid of crit.
Fake hype.
They found the imposter. It was Shadow Demon. And they get rid of him swiftly. Yatoro going to farm up the enemy triangle. Spirit just in full control of the map and of the game. Just complete and utter domination. Otter.
Well, otters would be a great addition to the game, I agree.
I think it's good for the game we played yesterday. A dominating otter. How would you show that in the shopkeeper game, what do you think?
That's a good question, Cinderin. One that I will completely ignore as we move on to the commentary of this game.
Yeah. That's fair.
But back to my original question, which you so rudely ignored.
That's what
Falcons' turtle potential. What would you say?
I don't know. I don't even think their lineup scales better.
It's not like they have a Naga.
Yeah, and Sven as a hero is very tempo-based. This hero does not play well from behind. It's not like you're going to turtle, Sven is going to farm up, and then he's suddenly coming online and everything will be great. Generally speaking, Sven on equal net worth to a lot of carries is just weaker, and he thrives on staying ahead and farming faster than most other heroes. In this case...
Oh, Malrine. Oh, Amar actually comes in to get the kill on Tamira, so good job from him as they find another support in Miposhka.
All right.
So 2 supports killed.
I think this is the way to the game. I don't think...
Killing supports?
No, just being aggressive with what you have. I think Falcons are very well aware that just standing back and being defensive is going to do them no good. You can't give the initiative over to Spirit. They're just going to run you over. So you have to try to look for moments of opportunity where you see the enemy heroes spread on multiple lanes.
Yeah, they want Amar. They completely ignore snaking. Now the position 3 Tiny will drop. As Malrine able to TP out, so it ends up being 2 supports basically for the off lane.
Yeah.
Skeeter with that God Strength just continuing to farm. He is going for the BKB next. And, I mean, is that enough to try and fight? Problem is, like, if Spirit's 5-manning, it's going to be really difficult for Falcons. But this is not 5-manning here. Collapse is all alone. Frostbite under the tier 1 tower. Yule's onto the Sven as Skeeter gets the Stormhammer off. The TP is coming, so Collapse does fall, but looks like the TP's canceled now.
Big kill. The sequence in which Falcons did this worked out really well. So they forced this fight up top where they kill 2 supports, and then they cross the map down to bottom and find the kills there. And the rotations from Spirit not available. They just had TPs on cooldown, so they can't help Collapse That is a very nice kill for them. Now, Spirit will trade it for the Roche. I think at the end of the day, this was inevitable, and they were going to get it anyway. Also see Falcons taking the towers in the meantime.
Let's see what the average timer is.
It's quite good.
Being interested. 21:59 still. Okay, great.
Nice, it was below 20 again.
Really cool. Really cool. Just don't want my free dinner.
Didn't want it anyway.
Production, you're not getting anything out of this, you know. Okay, trolling.
I'm actually surprised that it's still 59. I thought it would be like 57.
Well, there are other games that we're not casting.
Yeah. Well, the trend in our games has definitely been like a...
Snaking. And they find a Mira.
Man, Mira has been shut down quite hard.
He has.
They've killed him like 3 or 4 times in a row.
And you can see it's just a 4K lead now for Spirit. They do have the Aegis. Let's see how well they use it. But Falcons finding a way slowly but surely to get back into this game.
Yep.
And honestly, it's been mostly off the back of killing these supports. And obviously the 1 kill on Collapse, pretty big. Wasn't reciprocated at all from Spirit. Well, I guess in a way they traded Roche for it.
Collapse trying for the Blink Yules, but Malrine instantly into the phase shift.
Radiant's top tower is
And he'll be building BKB next. But a smoke from Spirit, they want to get aggressive. They want to defend this tier 2 tower. Malrine with the Invis rune. Collapse. And the scan comes out. Malrine on the high ground. TP. He's fine. Boy, they really min-max it, don't they, these days? I have to say. They are very aware.
Every little edge matters at this level. But yeah, I have to
Except
say,
when it comes to the Roshan banner.
True. But I guess it's not even considered an edge, because if you don't know how to use it, you can't get an advantage.
That's right. See, that is something that, for AUI especially, I'm surprised he hasn't.
Oh, I'm sure AUI knows exactly how to use it, but his teams are just like,
oh, I see.
Shut up, old nerd. This is new tech.
Shut up, old nerd.
Yeah.
That's very disrespectful to a 2-time TI winner. Collapse. Yule's spear combo. Snaking is done.
Finally, Spirit get on the board again. This feels like it took forever. Their last kill was quite a long time ago. I gotta say, really commending Falcons here on a well-played last few minutes. It's not as easy as it looks. They were in a really bad spot, and they're not back in the game per se, but they've managed to make it a possibility to win this. I would still give Spirit a very clear edge, but, you know, lead down to 3K from 8.
Yeah.
And this was a lineup from Spirit that was meant to just, you know, group up at this point and just run you over with the lead they had, but some of the utility items are starting to come out for Falcons that give them better counterplay. This is Shadow Demon Blink Dagger. BKB on Sven completed.
Yep, Collapse with another Yule Spear. This time it's Crit being the recipient of that. He's only at half HP. It's off the disruption, but Poshka was looking for the Nightmare. And Crit attempting to run out.
Oh, that was a long cast.
Nightmare.
Gotta love that Aetherlens. Everybody loves a good Bane.
Oh yeah, very cool hero.
I love this hero, but it's just not very good right now. But, you know, in the right circumstances with the right strategy, most stuff in Dota can work.
This is true. This is accurate. Itaro gets a tier 2 mid. I think the issue with Bane has always been, and they've definitely toned this back for like heroes like him and Jakira, is just the clunkiness. Like the animations just feel like they just take ages to go off. Speaking of ages, we have Luna getting another tier 2 tower with a minute left on the Aegis.
He's very farmed. 280 CS minute 23. Which is kind of bound to happen on Luna when you have this good of a start. Could have had more farm than this, but Spirit were making a decent amount of team moves that Luna was involved in, so it's always going to be a trade-off. And again, that's where Falcons...
Oh, that's a gem. That's huge.
A really big intercept.
Did he just buy that?
I think, wait.
I mean, it was on the courier, so I assume he just bought that.
Well, was he sending it out to Mars?
I don't know.
Because Bane himself is top.
That's a pretty big mistake.
It's an 1800 net worth swing.
So Team Spirit, they get 2 tier 2s with this Aegis effectively, which for Falcons, I think that's not too bad. They've cut the lead, like you said, down to 3K. And now they have a gem to work with. See how much value they get out of it.
And the Aegis will expire as well, so
Yep,
there is a moment of opportunity here for Falcons actually to think about a fight, and they're going to immediately smoke with this Aegis expiring.
Yep, Yatoro will pop it. Malrine gets the Waning Rift into the Illusory Orb away. Ends up popping most of the smoke as Collapses all alone. Skeeter coming in to try to finish the job, but he gets speared to a tree next to Yatoro as well. Collapse does eventually fall, and Skeeter will be fine as they're going to re-aggress now. The coil snaps, disruption onto the Luna. As Yatoro is forced to use his BKB, Skeeter continuing on. Amar gets the nice toss into the avalanche, kills off the Bane. Yatoro super low, does fall to the Shadow Poison. Laurel with the Exo is not going to survive either. And just like that, Falcons bring the game back in their favor.
Man, these guys are good.
Wow.
It just...
absolutely absurd.
This is why wards win games, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing the Mars there, who was trying to go for a backstab. Spirit were trying to set up a pincer move here, where they're baiting out in mid to give Collapse the perfect backline initiation. But that one ward that Falcons have seeing him out in the jungle, they get that kill first, and everything just snowballs from it. He's trying to buy himself time with the Euls, he immediately gets Demonic Purge, they kill him instantly. I think Spirit should have absolutely just called it quits there. Just get the hell out when Mars gets caught.
I thought you meant the call GG.
Okay, relax.
That's what calling it quits is.
You can call it quits on a play. I think.
I guess.
Whatever, give me this one.
It's a little aggressive.
But yeah,
give me that 1 second on the Roche timer, then I can give you that one.
It's not. I don't have to be right for $100. You can't fight without your Mars. You have to just instantly dip. He was trying to buy himself time, wasn't able to. You just got to get out. But it's so easy to say. These judgment calls, a lot of the time you really want to back up your teammates, but that ended up costing them the entire lead that they had. Now suddenly Stormhammer available for the Sven, the upgraded Aghanims version. Will be able to fly in and break that Mars immediately.
BKB from Malrine will avoid the spear as the result gets the coil off as Laurel dies on the other side as well. So Falcons continuing to get these crazy ass kills. Toss back and Collapse will eventually die. 2 cores dead for Spirit. Falcons are certainly online now. You talked about the Ags, that's another way to dispel the Euls.
I said, yeah, there's the kill. I mean, he's just alone. There's no backup here. I said break. I didn't mean in the technical sense, but more as in he can just completely destroy Mars. He can just Stormhammer in. Mars can't Eul, because it's going to get dispelled immediately. So that layer of protection is now gone. And Sven will always be able to get on top of the Luna now from really far away. Or just kill... I think the perfect play for Skitter, honestly, if he gets the chance, is just Stormhammer the Bane. Just instantly blow up the Bane and open up the fight that way. His teammates are going to be able to offer protection for him if there's counterplay from Spirit. You can get Blink disrupted by your Shadow Demon. You get tossed out if it gets really hairy. You obviously have your BKB.
Malrine runs into Mira. Seems to be the recipient of a lot of these just random engagements. They just run into each other. Laurel attempting to run back, but Amar is going to throw a tree at him just for fun. A Collapse. Looks like they might find a pickoff here onto Snake King. So again, support for support. But the grip keeping Amar in place. But really the story is Laurel dying again. The footsteps of his base as Amar just blinks away. Nice disruption again from Crit. And this disruptor, this Shadow Demon has been such a I mean, you guys called it God tier pick. It has really worked out well for Falcons. Even when it just comes to the Demonic Purge. But the saves have been incredible. Being able to use that on Luna. 2 illusions that will scale as strong as she gets. Of course, maybe not as much with the build that Lunas go these days, I suppose, but it's not like there's a Scotty Butterfly right now.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's still good.
It all adds up in the fight. I'm very, very impressed with how Falcons managed to turn this game around so fast. It is We knew they're good. We've seen how they operate, but as we talked about, haven't really seen them at this big of a deficit in any game they've played. And despite that, they still find a way into this one, which, you know, it's good when you're behind to have a lineup that can make plays, right? Because that's when you feel like there's hope. If you had a very greedy, you know, we need to farm a lot on multiple cores kind of strategy going, you're just doomed when you're 7k behind minute 14, right? Like, you're just never finding a way back. But they know what their win condition is, they know what they can work with, and it's just been the perfect storm of good moves there. Miposhka, hello.
Okay.
Don't go through the gate on the other players would be my recommendation.
Oh, man. That was actually hilarious. But yeah, the Roche spawning in 10 seconds, so that means Miposhka will have to sit it out if they end up trying to contest right away. As, okay, Crit has an Ags at sub 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
All right, good luck to Mars, everybody. It's gonna have a tough time now.
Now there's an actual break.
Yeah.
Falcons, I don't think they have scouted the Roche quite yet.
Larl finally getting a BKB, so now he has some sort of ability to stand his ground against this massive spell damage lineup that Falcons have going, but does feel like it's still going to be tricky to find the fight, but this has to be the moment you're looking for. Falcons lineup is going to group up around the Roche pit. You can run in with your Exo, but
nope.
It's just kind of dead already.
All right, let's see how much impact AUI 2000 has when it comes to little mechanics like the Roshan banner. But they're going to smoke up, and this might turn into a fight. But remember, the God Strength is going to be dissipating.
Radiant are scanning.
It's already past the half duration mark. Does Falcons want to fight without that? I doubt it. And now the mass TP's out. Skeeter. All right. So who has the banner? Talk about this for the next 10 minutes. My favorite discussion. Oh, he just you. God. All right.
Shen, what if...
Curtis, you need to get this shit together, man. You're the pioneer of all these little mechanics.
All right, let me entertain an idea here. What if all the pro teams are better at this game than you? Do you think that's possible?
Yes, that is possible.
Okay.
But it also gives them overconfidence because they're better.
Right.
Cocky. So you're saying this is a good usage. That's what you're implying right now.
I personally am with you that saving it is... I like the idea of saving it until barracks come into play. I think that's a very interesting idea. But in the face of overwhelming evidence, we may have to eventually concede and just accept that the banner is there.
Shiver was interviewing Toronto Tokyo about it, and he admitted they don't know how to use it yet. So there's some counter evidence, if you want to call it that.
Oh, I see what's happening here. So BetBoom win the group stage, and therefore they're the best team. So every other team copies them, and they don't know how to use the banner. So everybody
could be
just does it wrong because BetBoom does it wrong.
Yeah, I think
that would be really funny. Like, imagine you have this image as a team that you are infallible, and other teams just copy you relentlessly, and you just...
Era, you have died.
He's not
good effort.
Get away from this. You're doing so well. You're like, you're in a position in the group stage where you don't need to win all your games. You just put out a red herring. You just literally invest.
So it's a long game of using it like absolute shit, and then when it really matters the most, you pull it out when the Rax is actually down.
Yeah.
Incredible.
You start first picking a hero and nobody else is playing. They're like, why do they think this hero is so good? And they don't. They just
happen to win with it.
They want it to catch on for the other teams.
Yeah, that's truly next level. Yep. Can we click on those creeps in the mid lane? Do they actually get the buff that late? Oh, too late.
They're dead.
All right. Oh, it's already gone.
I think somebody broke the banner, right?
It hasn't been 5 minutes.
I would think so.
Oh, God, dude.
Oh, it was Manta Illusions killing the banner.
Okay, yeah.
Nicely done from Yotaro.
I mean, they're going to buff the banner enough that you need to sit somebody on it to defend. That's the goal.
I heard the panel talking about some capture the flag the other day, where you could carry the banner with you.
Oh, okay.
I think it would be a very interesting idea.
So wherever you are, the creeps are stronger.
I don't know what the banner would do, but it's something like where you kill the hero who's carrying the banner, then you can get it. Kind of like a gem.
Okay. That's
Oh,
interesting.
that should be kind of cool, to be honest. You become like
we love mini games, and we have the Monkey King killing like Courage and whatnot. As we're going to see the silence on a Malrine.
Oh, very close.
Going to have to use the BKB, and he blinks away.
Wow, Miposhka was, I want to say, 90% through the animation of grip there.
I'm a little surprised. Maybe not.
Super close.
I'm a little surprised he's not going Lincolns on Puck, but I guess he's just very confident that his team will be able to cancel out anything like that.
I mean, especially if they give him the Aegis. Then
yeah, of course. Maybe that's exactly why then.
But you're right, Lincoln's is obviously one of the great items against Bane. Forces you to use Enfeeble first, and it gives you that reaction window.
Yeah, it takes so long to cast anything on Bane. Smoke now from Spirit as they find themselves in a 6K deficit despite them being ahead for most of the game.
Opting to look for a fight with 50 seconds left on the Aegis is a quite interesting choice here. I don't think the conditions change much in the next 45 seconds.
Surprise tactic, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe you can catch Falcons off guard, but if they are tight together, you're effectively just fighting at a major disadvantage. And it doesn't look like they're going to find anything here whatsoever.
Yeah, Malrine. Still 30 seconds to go, so not a good target to jump.
I'll allow them to place a ward here in mid, but unlikely the fight is going to happen around where Miposhka just put this. More than likely going to be further up on their side of the map. But Yatoro will force them back here, so perhaps this ward can get interesting now. As Falcons will need to start heading back toward their base unless they're going to just concede this tower. Okay.
Aegis gone.
TP. Malrine is very apprehensive about hitting this wave, just gonna cast spells from max range and not get involved in the creeps. Scared of getting gripped.
And this is just gonna turn into the third Roche type of game, it looks like. Crit now. Looking for his shard. How good is the cleanse this game? Can he dispel Enfeeble?
Yeah, DP silence.
Oh, we have the break on Mars. Not tanky at all as Amar pops his BKB. But the pipe's actually going to save him for now as Lara going in really deep to try to silence the Shadow Demon. The Bane will fall. Shadow Demon is the trade, but now Skeeter, all his sights are set onto Laurel, but the Eclipse coming out from Yatoro. Skeeter pops his Satanic, staying very healthy indeed. And now Yatoro's going to get bursted down, gets off the Manta, but eventually the right clicks will be too much to handle. And Laurel now stuck in a corner. Triple kill for Skeeter. And now they will likely go high ground, and that's 2 cores dead for Spirit without buyback right now. They're still a tier 2 bottom, so they'll have to focus on mid and or top. Perhaps they're waiting to get healed up on Malrine before they truly go in. Obviously, they don't know that these buybacks aren't there. Is Avatos, Amar, going for the kill on Collapse.
Damage is so insane.
Not enough, though.
He didn't even have a tree.
Yeah, that's the phylactery.
If he hadn't farmed this jungle camp, he would have killed him.
Oh, it's actually a full Conda.
Yeah.
Oh my
the
God.
Conda damage on Tiny is out of this world, but you know, if he had the shard there, he would have killed him. I'm actually surprised to see Amar not buy that. Amar known to be a very farm-intensive player.
Right.
So you're playing offlane Tiny, not getting the shard, but maybe just doesn't think it's worth it.
Skater and Mallory kind of pushing 2 lanes at the same time, and even if they had buybacks, they know that Exo's down, they know that Eclipse is down.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've spread out means that they haven't really focused on one set. Now they will onto the top lane as Laurel comes back, but it's too late. So Falcons, too late for Falcons that is, as they will back away. So they get 2 tier 3 towers, but no barracks. But now with a 14K lead, still in a very, very good position, and Roche 15 seconds away from being able to spawn.
Aghanim's now on Malrine as well. The advantage mounts.
Yes. Oh, it's a really late Roche. 2 minutes 45. Plenty of time to farm away to your heart's content.
Skitter with these 2 connection items, both the Harpoon as well as the Ags will not struggle at all to get on top of targets. So it's a matter of, can Spirit somehow get tanky enough to survive it and kite him? Is it like, you can still, even when Sven has these items, he is somewhat countable or kiteable if you have like 4 staffs and BKBs, you buy time, his BKB runs out and then you turn and kill him. But as we saw in that previous fight, Yatoro is just not strong enough to be able to full out stand his ground for long enough. So I feel like Miposhka is the guy who can win this game for Spirit. I think it's the only one. Needs to somehow find a grip on the Sven. And in order to do that, the Shadow Demon needs to be out of play. So it's a set of things that need to happen for Spirit in the coming fight, which is very difficult to accomplish for their lineup, but I mean, you got to play for that one move, right? I don't think there's anything else that I can imagine them winning a fight by than killing Shadow Demon. It's just...
I can see how far Spirit are away. They're looking for that steal of a Roche, but we can see, of course, that it's a late one, which means their top lane dies.
Okay. Yeah, Sven and Tiny are pretty good at taking racks. All right, that's a lane
They
and a
are
half.
trying to push bottom, though, at the same time with Luna. They might be able to trade here, but it's 2 sets already in favor of Falcons. There's a fortification. Do they back up, though? Laurel with the BKB. Exo as well. Mars coming with a nice arena onto 2. Into the blast off, but the disruption saves again onto Skeeter. Now he can pop the BKB and reign supreme. Gets off the stun onto the Luna. The Eclipse will follow as Amar will pop the BKB and run away. Skeeter getting a little bit low, but here comes Malrine with the Waning Rift. He's found his distance, and they will back away. So it looks like the bottom set was taken out by Spirit, but Malrine going in very deep. They get the kill onto Laurel. 3 dead for Spirit. Mira using the blast off in an escape mechanism, but it ain't happening. GG is called. Falcons. What a great